It's Cardboard Time, episode 104, and I'm your host, Arwen Kathke. On today's episode, we are live at Orcacon.
Woo!
A, with a wonderful studio audience here, and B, with some of my favorite good humans.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Our family plays games.
I'm going to say that. Thank you so much. I'm talking to the mic.
All right, listen, we got to work on levels here, Mick.
Oh, I know. It's always
don't pull the
Ask
mic.
Grant.
Don't pull the mic to you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to be right there.
You're all good.
I'm sorry.
No, I was kind of worried this morning about what we were going to do about your levels because you are full of energy.
Yes.
Which we love.
Yes.
We're excited for.
Yes.
But sometimes we have to compensate for it
I
a
know.
little bit.
Somebody this morning on Grant was doing our show this morning. Somebody said, "Can we give Mick a mute button?" I said, "That's just so wrong.
No,
that is
boo.
wrong. Boo,
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 like we were last night. Boo.
boo." I told Grant, "Tell him boo."
So there will be no Shelf of Aspiration this episode. We'll resume that on episode 105. Usually that's something that I do talk about. But we've got more important things to talk about. We've got Orcacon to talk about.
Yes.
I want to talk about this convention.
Yes.
And we're going to see where things flow because we got a certain time limit. But I had some questions. We might not get to them all. We'll just have y'all back on.
We'll flow.
But we need to talk about this convention.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
This was my first time.
Okay, it's our second. It's our second.
What were your impressions of Orcacon?
It is. Go ahead, Starla.
Well, this is our second time, so that means something that we came back. We had a great time last year, great time this year. This is one of the most diverse and inclusive and welcoming conventions that we've attended, and we go to quite a few.
Yeah. It is so welcoming and just diverse. I mean, this is one con that I can look at a table and I can see everybody from everywhere, and it's just not one color.
Yeah.
You know, it's just everybody.
Or one gender.
Or just one gender.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it's just,
we've got a variety,
it's everybody,
Yeah.
everything, everywhere. And I mean, it's a breath of fresh air.
It really
All the
is,
time, it's just a breath of fresh air. Yeah.
It is really refreshing to look at a sea of people and see all sorts of different colors and ethnicities and, like you said, genders and gender identities.
Yes.
It is incredible.
And it's okay to have pronouns.
Yes.
And it's okay to be different. And it's okay to be whatever you want to be. Because at other cons, that's you don't it's not welcoming.
Yep.
So I love this con for that.
The fact that this is in the Pacific Northwest, I think historically Seattle has been a very inclusive area and a very good area.
Yes.
And we talk about conventions that, I've been vocal about some conventions that I can't go to for legal reasons. Nothing that I did, by the way.
No, nothing that you've done. No.
But, like Florida, I can't go to the conventions there. Texas, I can't go to the conventions there because the law's there. And to be able to see so many of my favorite people in one place here and have a welcoming environment has been so incredly wonderful for me.
Yes.
So.
And that goes for us too, go to cons and not be the only ones, or one of very few, to come here and see so many. It feels so different and so so cool. Yeah, because we get tired of that, because that's the one thing we came into this, in the industry and doing content creation, so we can try to bring others in, so it can be like this con. So so that's what we try to do. So this we love this con, love it.
I was going to talk about new games that we played and a game that stood out to you that you played. I'm going to start with Starla because I thought that Starla's response to this was actually really good. We just talked about it. Starla, what did you play while you were here?
Well, as I was saying earlier, I have not played any new games, but this is a working con for us, so we're here teaching games to people who may not know about this hobby. So I had a lot of friends that came to the con who are not board gamers. So some of the games that we brought, we were teaching. So we already know these games, but we wanted to teach it to them so they can get familiar and they can, see the joy that we have and why we love this hobby so much. So I've been playing some of the same games over and over with different groups of people to introduce them to the hobby.
Now, for me, when Starla goes to sleep, that's when I start playing some games. That's when that's what always happens. So my favorite one so far is To Bends. Did I say right?
To Breeze.
To Breeze by Randy Flynn from Crafty Games. That was fun last night. That's one of my, first. That's one of the first time I played it. That's one that's on that list of Shelf of Shame, and I got a chance to play it, so it was fun. It was fun.
I have to agree with that, and since you said it, now I get a mulligan, and I get to talk about something else.
Okay.
But that was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was you, myself, Amanda, and Joe, who are both here as well.
Yes.
We were up quite late.
Yes, we were, but who cares?
But who cares?
Who cares?
I will sleep in Seattle during the week, I guess.
Yes.
One game that I played was Masons, and this was from 2006.
Okay.
I wish the theme was better. I really wish the theme was better. It was very much like generic insert Euro city here, and you're building walls, which I could, just play any game from 2006 and have that.
Have the same thing, yes.
So I was actually talking with Carla Kopp about how we can maybe retheme that and, get a little spice on it.
Yeah.
So... But the gameplay itself was fantastic. I was very surprised.
Okay.
And that's one of those...
I've never heard of that one. You haven't?
No,
I know you
not.
haven't heard of it. I'm the librarian. I'm the librarian. I be watching the games and stuff. Don't I?
That's what he calls himself.
Yeah, yes, that's what I am.
But it's funny because, you think about, I've got to play the new hotness. I got to play all these games, from... 2025 and this is coming out and it's amazing. And to go back to some of those classics sometimes, the gentleman that we played this with found it in a garage sale for $7.
Yeah.
And it wound up being a gem. And, a few color vision issues that if people came to my panel last night, they know how to modify, which is great. But yeah, I was very, very surprised by that and glad that I sat down and, played it. So
that's cool. That is cool.
Well, now we're going to get into the meat of the show.
All right.
We're going to ask y'all some questions.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a little intro.
Okay.
For those who are unfamiliar with Our Family Plays Games, we are going to get to know them a little bit. Or you're usually referred to as OFPG, as your merchandise shows, very famous for that. You're a family of gamers consisting of Mick, Starla, and Grant Fitch. You host a weekly live stream talking about all sorts of different board gaming topics. In 2022, you also launched OFPG Voices, which is a fantastic program that highlights other underrepresented voices in the industry in line with your mission to foster diversity, inclusion, and equity within the modern board game hobby. You're great ambassadors as well, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Since starting the channel, you've been featured on Good Morning America, NBC News Online, Senate Magazine, and all sorts of other publications. So it's my pleasure to be here with you today, as I already said. So we met all the way back at PAX Unplugged in 2021.
Yes.
And we were just starting to have conventions again. I was just starting to get this off the ground and that. And we met on the third floor of the convention center.
In the media lounge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a great time.
Yeah.
So can you tell the audience a little bit about how and why you started OFPG?
You want to do our thing first?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, so that was a wonderful introduction.
Yes, it was. Thank you so much.
But we always like to start our show with, for those of you who don't know us, I'm Starla.
I'm Mick.
And we are
Our Family Plays Games. Boom goes the dynamite. I'm trying to be low because I don't want to mess up the audio.
My husband is the loud one. You'll recognize that.
Yes.
As if you watch our channel, you'll know that. But we started this because we saw a lack of representation and diversity in the hobby. So sometimes you have to be the change you seek.
Yeah.
And we decided to do that. We started with social media in 2018. Didn't see the traction we wanted to see. People weren't really liking our page or commenting on the page. So we decided 2 years later in 2020 to get on YouTube. And from YouTube, it's just grown from there. Putting a face behind the post on social media, putting personality behind that, and just showing the joy and the fun that we have in this hobby. And it's attracted people to our channel, and we do have a lot of fun, and we encourage people from all walks of life to be part of this hobby. Not just the fun, it's fun, but there's so many health benefits to board gaming, mental health and just relaxation and joy. Laughter is the best medicine. You can laugh, you have those endorphins. We love this hobby, and we just love sharing it with people and try to get more people involved in it.
Yeah.
I don't think Mick has anything else to say.
No, I do not. That's why she's the leader.
Good.
That's why she's the leader. That's why she's the leader.
So in 2023, you launched a board game pop-up shop to take modern board games to BIPOC communities and events. How has that been received, and what drove you to start that?
Am I going to answer all the questions?
Well, I'm going to come, put in. You're the one that started that thing.
Okay, so in addition to going to conventions all around the country and doing our live shows, we have a community game night in Omaha, Nebraska every quarter. We realized that we were just preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
Because we were going to places where gamers and board gamers, congregate and where they wanted to be. And that's great, but we wanted to bring more people into the hobby and introduce this hobby to people who didn't know about it. So in order to do that, we decided to go to events that are not board game focused. We want to go places where they're just selling candles, and then they've got board games, or they're selling jewelry and they've got board games. And we realized that if we could get people to invest by buying a game, that's going to make them more eager to play it. I mean, you can give games away, but if someone gives you something, you didn't put an investment in it, and you're like, oh, maybe I'll get to it, maybe I won't. But if you put your $20 or $30 down, you're going to take that game and say, okay, I paid for this, I want to try it. So we found that to be the case. When we take our pop-up shop, we usually curate about a dozen titles or so that we believe are great games to introduce people to the hobby. We call them gateway games or welcoming games. But these are games that'll get people, it's a low point of entry. It's not going to have a lot of difficult rules. It's going to have few pieces. Just something they can see that there are games out there beyond Monopoly, Uno, Jenga.
Yeah. Because, that's the one thing that we've always heard when we have the pop-up shops. They come in there, people of color come and say, wait a minute, I'm used to Monopoly and, Jenga and Uno. There's so many Uno, so much Uno. and they say, well, what is this stuff? What is this? Oh, I can get my kids to play. Well, it's just not for your kids.
Yeah.
The majority of the games that we have, kids can't play, and they're just so amazed with that.
Yeah.
And just the lack of awareness and, publishers not going to those communities and saying, hey, here are other games that, because we, as African Americans, we have a lot of trauma. We have a lot of stuff that we deal with every minute. Not every day, every minute. So, just to have opportunities, just to have some pleasure and some calm time and just to have fun, that's rare. Yeah. And just to introduce something to our community, our people, saying, hey, here's something that you can have fun, self-care, just be with your family and just have some good times. That's what we want to introduce and try to bring in. So, and they're amazed with that. We had a young lady with the family in Kansas City with a family saying, oh my God, thank you so much for showing these games because we got tired of, Sorry, we got tired of Monopoly. Here's some other games. And they got, 3 games, I think.
Yeah, we have people that come to our pop-up shop, they'll buy 1 or 2 games because they're so surprised. That something exists other than Monopoly and Sorry and Jenga.
Yeah.
So we're happy to introduce that to them.
And Uno. God help Uno.
Yeah. We're happy to kind of open their minds. And if publishers are struggling and they said, oh, nobody's buying my games, we need to come up with something new and add something else to the hobby, they're flooding our hobby with all of these games instead of capitalizing on the ones they've already created. You're missing markets by not marketing to other communities.
Yeah.
You're missing them because we're selling games like crazy.
Here we are.
We set up our shop and we sell like crazy.
And they're amazed that, these games exist. And when you tell people of color that there's 5,000 games like this coming out every year, they think we have 5 heads.
Yeah.
They're like, what are you talking about?
And that there are conventions like this that exist. Like people go and play games. Yeah. All over the world, they do this. So, we're doing that outreach that publishers should be investing in if they want to sell their games and keep their companies viable. There's money out there and they're missing it.
Yeah, it's other markets out there.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so genius about it, because we focus on conventions like this so much, which is great. I mean, it's a great congregation place to get people and to get people introduced to all sorts of different stuff. You are in one place to do one thing.
Yeah.
But that doesn't get newer gamers into the hobby. And that's what I think is so genius about that idea. Because you are actively investing in the community and you are actively expanding it, as opposed to having that community and deepening it. You're broadening that community as well.
Yeah. See, the difference between us and a game shop, there's lots of game shops, but people who are not part of the hobby, they're not going to a game shop.
No.
And if they do, they're going to be overwhelmed. My first visit to a game shop, now mind you, I'm a gamer from way back. I started playing games when I was 6 years old. But when we first went to a game shop, all of those games, I didn't even know where to start. I was just like a kid in a candy shop. Where do I go? I'm just looking around. And if you take somebody who doesn't know that this hobby exists and they don't know about board gaming, you put them in a game shop, they're going to look around and walk out. If Mick had not been with me, I would have looked around and probably walked out. But because he was with me, we were out there really looking for games, saying, well, go find something. And so that's when I started really shopping. I got to find something. But we take the games to the people instead of making the people come to the games.
Yeah, because sometimes, going to some of these game shops, you don't know how you're going to be treated. Because in Omaha, there are 5 game shops. I only go to 2. I only go to 2. Because I know how I'm going to be treated in the other 3. So I'm going to pump up the game shop.
In Omaha, Nebraska, we love you.
Game shop, Becky and Norm, we love y'all.
And also Spillbound Board Game Cafe.
I mean, those two game shops were so welcoming and so, just so nice from the minute I walk into both of those. So that we love those two. Yeah. And they have been so supportive of our channel too. Yes, they have.
And also support your truly friendly local.
Yes.
Truly friendly.
Very much so.
Yes.
So I want to switch topics to OFPG Voices, which highlights all sorts of underrepresented communities. Why do you think it's so important for a diverse slate of voices to be heard in the hobby?
Well, the reason for OFPG Voices, and I have to say we ran that program for 2 years. We had to put it on hiatus because of a lack of support from the hobby. We lost a lot of sponsorship for that particular program, and we couldn't keep it going. But in the 2 years that it was going, the point of it was to get more people of color seen, more underrepresented voices seen and heard. Even though most of the people that were on Voices had their own channels, their channels were a little bit smaller than ours. So we say, okay, you'll have your channel, we'll help reinforce what you do on our channel so you can get a wider audience. And that was the whole point. And you got to see and hear from such diverse groups of people, diverse opinions. Some of our voices are in the audience today. I missed that show. I want to bring it back, but we've got to get support from publishers and from this community in order to keep it going.
And we're so, we're kind of concerned because of the climate of not only this country, but the world. We might not get that support. And that's really disappointing.
When the support is probably the most needed at any time in history.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's now.
Yeah. What does your vision of true diversity, equity, and inclusion in the board game hobby look like?
I think when every con can look like this one.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
When every con can look, when I can go into, I guess Gen Con and PAX Unplugged, and it looks just like this. Or I can go to any little small con, in our town or anywhere, and it looks just like this. That's when I think we'll be a lot successful. But right now, right now we're a long way. And like I was telling you last night, the baby steps. everybody telling me, "Oh, make baby steps." I hate the baby steps.
Yeah.
I'm tired of baby steps. I want some leap forwards.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want some big leaps, and I think we can do that instead of all these dang baby steps. I'm tired of the baby steps.
But in addition to that, I think we want to see more people of color as publishers, as designers, as artists. Just see a variety, because it just opens up your world to see new things.
Yeah.
When I grew up, my mother we always went on vacation every year. We went somewhere every year because she wanted me to see places outside of where I lived. And it just gave me an open mind. So when I graduated college, I actually moved to Seattle. And my family was a little worried about me moving this far away, but I wanted that experience. And moving here, it opens your mind. People have to see things other than what they see every day in order to broaden your mind and make you a better person, make you more accepting and welcoming. And we need that in the hobby. So we need to not just have the conventions be diverse, but from every aspect, from publishers to designers to graphic artists, to see those, to hear diverse stories, diverse themes. We need all of that.
Because when I see publishers, when they hire somebody new in their company, I'm seeing a white face. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's another one. Yeah. And when they ask for graphic artists, I'm seeing more white faces. Yeah. There's people of color out there that can draw, and can do great things, and they can also design. There's so many stories that we have. I think it's the awards that always do like diverse stories. I forgot what the award is called, but they have these themes. I know one of them that won this year. I forgot. I'm slipping my mind, but it was porters, about the black porters of Canada. And that's a theme that you wouldn't see, but it was there and it won. And we have so many just great themes
that we're missing.
And that could be really compelling, games. Yeah. So I really hate that.
And no one can tell those stories like the people who experience those stories. You can't let somebody else tell your story the way you can tell your story.
Yeah.
So
And I think that was the Zenobia Award.
Zenobia Award,
Yep.
yes, Zenobia, yeah.
Yeah. It's absolutely 100% correct. You have to have a diverse slate of people making your games from every aspect, and that's something that we talked about. Everybody talks about designers, right? Which is great, that's a step. But graphic artists, people who do art, people who do development,
marketing,
everybody, you need to have your company look like you want your customer base to look like.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I think that's super important and a fantastic observation. All right, a couple of individual questions for y'all.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
All right, so the first one is from Mick. Where do you get so much energy from?
I do not know. I don't know.
It's his personality.
It's just me.
It's his
I'm an
personality.
extrovert, extrovert. I'm so sorry. Oh, she's touching the thing again. She's touching the audio. So I don't know.
No, when I married Mick, his mother told me he was a drama king.
What? Did she say that?
She did.
That dang mother
and she was
mine.
right. I didn't know at the time. Like, why does she call him a drama king? He's drama. He is dramatic.
Yeah, I guess, yes.
But we love you for it.
Thank you so much.
We love you for it.
Thank you. Listen, I'm an HR manager at my company, and they just cannot believe. I tell people, "What do you do?" I'm an HR person, and people say, "Is he a good HR person?" They say, "Well, he's good, but he's extra." So yes.
Yeah. All right, Starla, this one's for you.
Okay.
If you had one celebrity that you wanted to game with, why would that person be Idris Elba?
That is so wrong. That is so wrong. That is so wrong.
And what would y'all play with him?
Nothing, because he ain't coming. He ain't gonna be there.
Did you say y'all? What would y'all play with him?
Yeah, y'all.
What would y'all?
That's Mick and Starla.
I mean, however you want to define it, that's up to you.
No, we're not defining it.
Mick, this is Starla's question.
Well, if you've watched our show at all, most of you know that Idris Elba.
He ain't even in movies no more.
Yes, he is.
What is he in?
I don't want. Now, do you want me to? Do you want me to go through the whole list of things? I have a list.
No.
I have a list. Daddy's Little Girls, The Harder We Fall.
Okay, yeah.
Dark Tower.
Dark Tower, Sonic movies. I mean, so anyway, I would love to play. I would love to play a game with Idris Elba.
Like what? Which one?
Well, we could easily play.
It needs to be a team game where me and you against him and his wife.
Okay, what part of aren't you getting? I would love to play with Idris Elba. Cause I could teach him some nice new games because I'm quite sure he's not into board gaming.
No, he's probably not.
So yeah, I mean, there are a ton of games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I think it would be fun to play with Idris. Just we could play a nice game of patchwork.
That's two-player. That's not team.
Splendor Duel.
No more duel. Splendor. We'll play Splendor. We'll do Splendor. Yes, we'll do Splendor.
So those are a few of the games that I would suggest as of right now.
Splendor, not Splendor Duel. Yes, Splendor. Yes.
So, do y'all have any hobbies outside of gaming?
Ooh, yeah, we do. Yes, we do. Tell them what you like to do, Starla.
What?
TV, movies.
Okay.
We like doing that.
Now, before we got into board gaming,
Yes.
we did have hobbies.
We did have hobbies.
We had hobbies.
We did have hobbies.
Mine was reading. I love reading.
Yes.
I still have a big book collection.
A heavy
book
collection.
I don't get a chance to read anymore because I'm reading rule books.
Yeah.
And when I met Mick, he was into golf.
I did golf. I stopped that, y'all. Yeah.
That's the one thing
Yes.
I'm so happy board gaming
She is so happy.
changed because this golf habit was just
It was
ridiculous.
expensive.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it was
And you don't get a chance to. I didn't get a chance to enjoy that with you because I'm
no.
not a golfer.
Yeah.
So now we can do stuff together. But as of now, I mean, we like movies. We're big Marvel fans. We got a lot of TV shows we like to watch.
A lot of TV shows.
Yeah. So if it's not board gaming, we're doing TV or going to the movies because we do so much travel and then working. We have jobs and.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're busy.
And I like video games,
so you got
PC
that. I don't do
games
that.
I can play some of them with Grant, But yeah, I do video games. They're PC games.
That's the other part of our family plays games.
On console, so
Oh God, that's our discussion we always have about that. Yeah, but that's what we do.
Yeah.
Because I know you play Helldivers.
Helldivers
Yes,
2, love
yes.
that game. Yes, love it. And also No Man's Sky since they repaired it. Yeah, I love that.
It's good since they repaired it.
Yeah, it's great since they repaired it. Yeah.
It started out as a dumpster fire, but wow.
2016 was the worst time for me because I loved that game so much, and when it came out, it was so horrible. I got duped, and I hated them, But then they came back and they made a great game. So yeah,
It's really kind of fascinating how they did that because it's really a success story of a company that said, you know what, we did this wrong.
Yes,
we're gonna fix this,
and they really have fixed it. And they just keep coming out with DLC. I mean, DLC all the time, and you're like for free. So yeah, I love that.
Starla, you mentioned TV shows. What's like your favorite one that you're watching right now?
Well, we just did a binge of Squid Game 2.
Oh yes,
Yes.
yes.
And I'm watching the show now that Mick laughs at. It's an older show, but I'm just catching up on it. And it's Girls 5 Eva. It's a crazy comedy, but I'm trying to finish it up. I'm on season 2 now, so that's one I'm watching now. And then of course we love Abbott Elementary.
Yes,
it's one of our favorites that we watch every week. The other one. Oh my God, it's slipped my mind. The Detective.
What, the detective? Oh, Elsbeth.
Elsbeth. Yeah,
Elsbeth.
we like Elsbeth.
But we can't wait till your other the guy you like is Watson.
Oh, Morris Chestnut.
Oh, God, why you just kind of popping up on that?
That's
Why you
another one
popping
that
up
I can
on
put on
that?
my list to play games with.
No, you can't play with Morris.
Yes, Morris Chestnut. Yes,
yes. No, you cannot play
Yes,
with
he has
him.
a new show coming out, which we will be watching.
Yeah, we like Watson. We want to see Watson.
Yeah, we want to see that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so now I'm going to open it up to the audience a little bit. Any questions that you have, you can come up and talk into the mic, or you can just yell it out from your seat.
I am fascinated that you can balance both like you said, you're in HR and you have other jobs. How do you balance all that? I mean,
Not very well.
Not very well.
Not very well.
Not well at all.
Not very. We're lucky to have flexible jobs.
Yes.
I was doing this for 2 years without working, but I went back to work last year. I'm a marketing consultant, so I work from home, so it makes it easy to balance it. Yeah.
And I have a very, I have a great company with people that know what I do and they support that. And it helps a lot when your boss is a board gamer too.
Yes.
Yeah, so, it helps a whole lot.
Yes. Yes. Amanda Panda.
Yes.
Okay.
Come on up here, Amanda. A little.
Percy. So I have a question for all of you. If someone of color, because we see a lot of times these average, regular looking guys starting YouTube channels and podcasts and just getting big from doing whatever. But a lot of people of color, they can't do that. You know what I mean? They get discouraged. What would you say to them about continuing and growing and, being successful in a bunch of mediocre, other people?
Yeah. Good question. And I like that one. I'll take that one.
Oh, yeah. We talk about that all the time.
We talk about it a lot. We talk
Yeah.
about the struggles we have. We talk about the struggles we have with voices. And it's because the hobby is still growing and progressing. And a lot of people in the hobby, because our hobby is dominated by people that don't look like us, they don't want to see our stuff. They don't want to hear our voices. But we have to just stay out there regardless. And for us to stay out there, we just keep doing what we do. We keep finding new avenues and new ways to reach people, like with our pop-up shop and community game nights. We're not going to let them stop us from being who we are and being a presence in this hobby. So you just got to you have to encourage yourself and stay out there. But we already know that the predominant demographic for this hobby is not us. So you just have to stay encouraged.
And the one thing that Starla always tells me, and I always say all the time, we're gonna stay black AF forever.
We have no choice.
We have no choice, but we're gonna stay that. We're gonna stay that forever. Yeah. But we welcome everybody. Yeah. I mean, Daryl and Lori, they come to our show every week,
yes.
and we welcome that.
Yeah.
We welcome everybody. We have our Voices people. We love our Voices family.
Yeah.
We love them, and we want everybody to be involved. But we're gonna stay black AF. We're gonna stay that forever. So yes, and then we tell people, even the ones like I guess Dwayne and Alicia from Blackboard Gaming, and Aaron from Game Enthuse.
Yeah.
We always tell them to stay the course.
Yep.
They get discouraged, but just stay the course. Keep doing what you're doing, and just keep going to cons.
We tell everyone.
Keep being out there. Keep being seen.
Yeah.
Keep bothering those publishers, saying, "Hey, we're content creators. We want to show off your games." Just keep pushing it.
We say that to everybody, whether it's Amanda or even Ruel, because we know Ruel is working on his stuff as well. So that's Ruel Gaviola. Was it Tabletop?
Tabletop tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Amanda Panda, who's everywhere. We encourage everybody. If you've been part of Voices, Phantom Meeple, we encourage you guys to stay out there. We have to stay present, because if we disappear, then it just makes the hobby revert back to the way it was.
Yeah.
So you have to stay out there.
And we do bother publishers.
Yes,
and they're
we do.
like, "Oh man, okay." Yes, we bother them. Yes.
And I think that's one thing, we had the conversation about meta. I think it was Friday night, and we were talking about what to do. And, it's so easy to retract from places, and sometimes you have to do that for your safety.
Yes. For X, we had to leave.
Yeah.
And we got so much pushback from that. We couldn't believe it, from other things. Like our choice in the last election, we didn't get that much pushback. But leaving X, Twitter, whatever he calls it or whatever, we got so much pushback. It was crazy. And we were like, hey, we have to go. That was one reason we had to go.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call it Twitter, because if Elon Musk can dead name his own kid, I'm going to dead name his platform.
Yes, that's right. Twitter. Yes.
But, I think that's what's wanted.
Yeah.
I think, the whole intention is to get marginalized communities off the platform.
Yeah.
And, that's part of persistency. And I think y'all do such a great job, including everybody here, about being present and continuing to persist and, keep trying to make this as diverse a hobby as it can be.
Exactly.
Now, one person that we follow and he follows us, and he's a friend, he's a family friend, is Scott Woods. I don't know if you guys have heard of Scott Woods. You need to follow him. He's an Emmy award-winning, writer, poet from out of Columbus, Ohio. And he said, he said some great things. He's a very wise guy. And he said that we got to use these platforms, for our use and how we want to use it. Go to the people you want to see. Go to the people that you want to hear from, and don't worry about everything else. All the noise, block it out, kill it, whatever you need to do, but use the platforms to what you need to, because we need to stay present and stay out there, because it's the only way we can communicate and get the word out, because we can't depend on mainstream news no more, and we can't depend on a lot of other sources. So the people that you want to talk to and that you feel you're getting that news from or that information, keep going, keep using it, and don't let them try to throw you off. Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah. Why don't you do that, Mike? I think that's perfect. This is Keith, by the way. He has done such an amazing job at helping out with the panel and distributing numbers for whatever reason, insidious plan that I have.
Arwen, I just met you this morning, and it's awesome to meet you. And I've known these wonderful people for a while.
Yes.
So I have a question for Mick and Starla.
Okay.
Is there a moment in African American history, or two or three, that you would love to see explored in a game?
Yes. Oh my God.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Yes.
You want to start?
The first one is the person that Jack Daniels, Jack Daniels did not get whiskey by himself. He actually was taught that from a former slave, Nearest, Uncle Nearest.
Uncle Nearest.
Uncle Nearest. And we would love to see a game about Uncle Nearest and how he made whiskey. That's one. The second one is the Great Migration.
Yes.
When a lot of African Americans decided to leave the South and go to the North, that's worker placement 101 right there. And I would love to see something about the Great Migration, too.
Yeah, it's something with a jazz theme, since African Americans originated jazz. That would be really nice. I know they have a Cotton Club game. Yeah. I don't know how good that one is, but something around that theme, yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. It's from a Spanish, publisher, and I don't think they really did that research that much. Yeah. They put a lot of colorful faces on there, but I don't think they did the research. And I would love to see more research. We have the Renaissance, the Black Renaissance of that time.
And then also movie making. Oscar Micheaux did some great movies. He does not get the credit he deserves when they were what they call race movies. But those movies are excellently done. So there's so many themes out there. I would have to have a list for you, but those are just a few.
Yeah, yeah. And a good, game about the civil rights movement. There's one out there, but, we weren't really heavily, African Americans were really heavily making that game. I would like to see one made by the people that it affected and, that could go to sources that could get the right information. And I would love to see that.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Fantastic question. Absolutely fantastic question.
Thank you.
I think we have time for one more.
So come on up.
Yeah.
Hi. So my friends and I come from Southern California up here every year. We've been doing it for many years. And one of the reasons I really like coming here is for not just the diversity in terms of ethnicity and gender and race, et cetera, but for ability and disability. And I was wondering, because I have not been to a lot of conventions around the country or anything, so I'd like to know your opinions, anyone who wants to answer, about Orcacon in comparison with some others with respect to disability.
That's a good one.
I think it leaps years, over other cons.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think cons they try to be accommodating.
Yes.
But I don't know if people with disabilities are the forefront of what they're thinking about. they try to be accommodating. I have seen accommodations being made, but I think here they've already thought about that ahead of time.
Yeah, and they advertise it and they talk about it
so-
while others don't.
Yeah.
You know, like in other ones that they'll have information about that 60 pages into their their book. You'll find it way in there. Here it's like up front, so we appreciate that.
And I think there were great talks, including one yesterday. Abby, you put that together, right? So you were at the forefront of that, and it was a panel specifically about accessibility in the industry, and I think those conversations don't happen other places, and they really should. They need to, because we need to talk about this. We need to make sure that everybody's included to grow the hobby.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that these two do. So I think that that's a very important aspect as well. And yeah, it's light years ahead of anything else.
Light years
Totally.
ahead of anything
Totally.
else. Yeah.
So, okay, we got a little bit of an interactive segment before we close.
Okay.
Interactive.
Okay.
All right, Keith, what was the last number that we had?
9.
9. Okay, so you have 9 there.
I have 10 here. So
Okay, so we're going to draw a number 1 through 9. We have some prizes and a giveaway.
Yeah.
So to talk about that before I draw the number, I'm going to explain what each of these are, and I promise that they're quality games. The first one, I will be giving this away as one package. The first one is Tome. This is from fantastic designer by the name of Tony Thorpe. You may know him from Sonic Roll and the One Piece, Luffy's Bento Panic. This also comes with expansion packs. The graphic design was by Lauren Yu, who I go back with all the way back to one of my first episodes. She is wonderful, and we love her graphic design. Yum Yum Island. There is a story behind this, and I think Amanda knows about it, maybe. This is a dexterity game. It is goofy. I bought it for $3. This was the best $3 I ever spent.
Ooh, okay.
This is the last copy that I bought for $3, and I wanted it to go to a good home, and that's why it's here. We play it at conventions all the time, late at night. It's goofy. It's fun. It's way more fun than it should be. So I am going to draw a number 1 through 9, and whoever gets it, number 1.
Hey!
Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. We appreciate you.
That's cool. We do.
Okay, so now with that out of the way, we're going to close. I want to thank you both so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for
Thank
having
you
us.
for having
This has been
us.
fun.
So
we
much
love
fun.
you. We love
Yes.
you.
We love you so much.
We just love being here.
And
Yes.
the work that you do in the community is so incredibly needed. It's so incredibly important. Where can people go to hear you? And I want to leave you ample time because it's a ton of places.
Well, first of all, Erwin, you're doing great things too, and we appreciate you being out there,
Yes.
being seen,
Yes.
being heard, and we love you for that.
Thank you.
Love you.
Yes.
Thank you for being out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. We have to normalize diversity.
Yes.
In all forms.
In all forms.
All
We must
forms.
normalize it. Everybody in here, you're an ambassador to do that.
Yes.
Normalize diversity, fight for it, normalize inclusion. You have to. Everybody.
Yeah.
It can't just be marginalized communities fighting by ourselves. Everybody has to fight
Yep.
together.
Yes.
Everybody has a part to play in that.
Yes,
And
that's
that's
right.
including amplifying voices
That's
that
right.
aren't your own. If you're a cis-het white man, that is something that you can do is hit that reshare button.
That's right.
Tell people about
Yes.
things, and be a good ally.
Yes.
Be an
Exactly.
accomplice.
An accomplice,
Yes.
not an ally.
Accomplice.
An accomplice, yes.
That's what I say now. Be an accomplice.
Yep.
Yes. We have enough allies sitting on the sidelines clapping.
Yeah.
We need accomplices.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We need people in the
Yeah.
trenches with
Yes.
us.
right.
Yes.
All right. So where can people hear you?
Okay, well, if you're looking for Our Family Plays games,
Yes.
you may find us on Facebook, Instagram,
Yep.
TikTok, Threads.
Yep.
I'm messing this up because
Blue Sky.
I had this whole spiel and then we changed up where we were located. So I'm trying to get this again. Let me do it again. If you're looking for Our Family Plays Games, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, right here on YouTube, Threads, Blue Sky, and our website. There we go. There we go.
Yeah. You got Threads, right?
Yes.
And Blue Sky.
Yes.
Okay, we're good. We're good. Yeah. We're good. Yeah, we can find
I think
all
that's
those.
it.
I think so. Oh, and if they're in Nebraska,
Oh, and if you're in Omaha, Nebraska,
yes.
you can find us on Cox Channel 22, Thursdays at 11:30 a.m.
Yes.
Well, again, thank you both so much. If you are looking for more information about my program, is at cardboardtime.com. At cardboard_time is my Instagram. At cardboardtime.bsky.social, whatever, however it categorizes it. That's Blue Sky. That's where I do most of my stuff. If you have any questions, suggestions, or ideas for discussion topics, you can email cardboardtime@gmail.com. And as always, we'll see you around the table in 2 weeks for another episode of Cardboard Time.
Yay.